I stood in the doorway of our bedroom, frozen in shock, staring at the woman who had just walked through our front door. She was beautiful, tall, with long blonde hair and piercing blue eyes. She wore an expensive designer dress and carried herself with the confidence of someone who owned every room she entered. And she was looking at Ethan like she owned him too. "Hello, Ethan," she said, her voice smooth as silk. "Did you miss me?" Ethan's face had gone completely white. His hands clenched into fists at his sides, and I saw something in his eyes I had never seen before. Fear. "Vanessa," he whispered. "What are you doing here?" The woman Vanessa smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. It was the smile of a predator who had just cornered its prey. "I came back for what's mine," she said, her eyes sliding to me for just a moment before returning to Ethan. "I came back for you." My heart dropped into my stomach. Our beautiful life, our perfect family, our happy ending. In that moment, I felt it all starting to crumble, because I could see the history between them. I could see the pain in Ethan's eyes, and I could see the determination in Vanessa's smile. Whoever this woman was, she wasn't here to congratulate us on our happiness. She was here to destroy it. But before I tell you how this nightmare unfolded, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I want to know where my amazing viewers are located. And hit that like button if you're ready for this story. Now, let me take you back to the morning this all began. It was a beautiful Tuesday morning, 3 years after our wedding. Hope was at preschool, Tyler was at work, and Ethan and I were enjoying a rare quiet morning together. We were having coffee on the back porch when Ethan's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and his entire body went rigid. "What's wrong?" I asked, seeing the color drain from his face. "Nothing," he said quickly, putting the phone face down on the table. "Just an old contact I haven't heard from in years." But I could see the tension in his shoulders. I could see the way his jaw clenched. Something was wrong. "Ethan," I said gently, "talk to me. What's going on?" He was quiet for a long moment. Then he sighed and picked up his phone again, staring at the screen. "There's someone from my past," he said slowly. "Someone I haven't thought about in a long time. Her name is Vanessa. She just sent me a message saying she's coming to town and wants to see me." My stomach twisted. "Who is she?" Ethan looked at me with troubled eyes. "She was my fiancée. Before the military. Before the explosion. Before everything." The word fiancé hit me like a punch to the chest. "You were engaged?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Yes," Ethan said. "We were together for 3 years. We were planning to get married after my last deployment. But then what?" I asked. "Then I got injured," Ethan said quietly. "The explosion put me in the coma. And Vanessa, she left. She couldn't handle seeing me like that. She visited the hospital once, saw me hooked up to all those machines, and she just walked away. She broke off the engagement and disappeared. I never heard from her again." I felt a complex mixture of emotions. Anger at this woman who had abandoned Ethan when he needed her most. But also a strange gratitude, because if she hadn't left, Ethan and I never would have found each other. "Why does she want to see you now?" I asked. "I don't know," Ethan said, looking confused and worried. "She didn't say. She just said she needed to talk to me in person." "What did you tell her?" I asked. "Nothing yet," Ethan said. "I wanted to talk to you first. Riley, you need to know, whatever Vanessa wants, whatever she says, it doesn't change anything between us. I love you. You're my wife. You're the mother of my child. Vanessa is just a ghost from my past." I took his hand. "I trust you, Ethan. If you need to see her to get closure or to find out what she wants, I understand." Ethan squeezed my hand. "Are you sure?" "Yes," I said, even though my heart was pounding with anxiety. "Just promise me something." "Anything," Ethan said. "Promise me that no matter what she says, no matter what she wants, you'll tell me the truth. No secrets." "I promise," Ethan said firmly. "No secrets. Ever." He texted Vanessa back, agreeing to meet her at a cafe downtown the next day. But as I watched him type, I couldn't shake the feeling that something bad was coming. I had no idea how right I was. The next day, Ethan went to meet Vanessa at the cafe. I had offered to come with him, but he said it might be better if he talked to her alone first. I spent the entire time he was gone pacing our living room, unable to focus on anything. I tried to clean. I tried to work. I tried to watch TV. Nothing helped. Finally, after 2 hours, I heard Ethan's car pull into the driveway. I rushed to the front door and opened it before he could even get his keys out. "How did it go?" I asked. Ethan's face was troubled. He walked past me into the house without a word, went straight to the kitchen, and poured himself a glass of water. "Ethan," I said, following him, "you're scaring me. What happened?" He drank the entire glass of water, set it down, and finally looked at me. "Vanessa is sick," he said quietly. "Sick?" I repeated. "What do you mean?" "She has cancer," Ethan said. "Stage 3. She's been going through treatment and it's not going well. The doctors say she has maybe a year left." My hand flew to my mouth. "Oh my God. She came here because she says she has regrets," Ethan continued. "She regrets leaving me when I was in the coma. She regrets not being there for me. And she says—" He stopped, looking uncomfortable. "What?" I asked. "What does she say?" "She says she still loves me," Ethan said, his voice pained. "She says that walking away from me was the biggest mistake of her life, and she wants a chance to make things right before she dies." The room seemed to spin. I grabbed the counter to steady myself. "What did you tell her?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "I told her I'm married," Ethan said firmly. "I told her I have a wife and a daughter and a life that I love. I told her that what we had is in the past." "And what did she say?" I asked. Ethan looked away. "She started crying. She said she understood, but she asked if she could at least spend some time with me before she dies. As friends. She said she has no one else. Her family disowned her after she left me, and she pushed away all her friends. I'm apparently the only person from her old life who she still has any connection to." I felt tears building in my eyes. "What did you tell her?" "I didn't know what to say," Ethan admitted. "She's dying, Riley. And yes, she hurt me when she left. But part of me feels like I should at least be kind to her in her final months. But I also don't want to do anything that would hurt you or make you uncomfortable." I took a deep breath, trying to think clearly through the panic I felt. "Ethan," I said slowly, "I can't tell you what to do. If you feel like you need to help her or be there for her as a friend, I can't stop you. But I need you to understand something." "What?" he asked. "I'm terrified," I said, tears spilling down my cheeks. "I'm terrified that she's going to try to take you away from me. I'm terrified that she's going to use her illness to manipulate you. I'm terrified that I'm going to lose you." Ethan pulled me into his arms immediately. "You're not going to lose me. I promise you, Riley. You are not going to lose me." "How can you be so sure?" I asked, crying into his chest. "Because I love you," Ethan said firmly. "Because you're the one who was there for me when I was at my lowest. Because you're the one who built this life with me. Vanessa was part of my past, but you're my present and my future. Nothing is going to change that." I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust that everything would be okay. But deep down, I had a terrible feeling that Vanessa's arrival was going to test our marriage in ways we had never been tested before. 3 days later, on that Tuesday morning, Vanessa showed up at our house unannounced. Ethan and I were still having coffee on the back porch when the doorbell rang. Ethan went to answer it, and I heard that smooth, confident female voice from the front hallway. "Hello, Ethan. I hope I'm not interrupting." I walked to the front of the house and saw her for the first time. Vanessa was beautiful. Even sick, even going through cancer treatment, she was stunning. She wore a wig. I could tell because it was too perfect, but she wore it well. Her makeup was flawless. Her dress was expensive. She looked like everything I wasn't. I was wearing yoga pants and one of Ethan's old t-shirts. My hair was in a messy bun. I had no makeup on. Standing next to Vanessa, I felt like a child playing dress-up compared to a real woman. "Riley," Ethan said, his voice tense. This is Vanessa. Vanessa, this is my wife, Riley. Vanessa's eyes swept over me, and I saw something flash in them. Judgment? Amusement? Pity? Couldn't tell. So you're the one who married Ethan while he was in a coma, Vanessa said. And though her voice was polite, there was something cold underneath it. How practical. Excuse me, I said, feeling defensive. I mean, it must have been convenient, Vanessa continued, that fake smile still on her face. You got to marry into a wealthy family without having to actually win Ethan's heart. He had no choice in the matter. That's enough, Ethan said sharply. Riley is my wife and I love her. Whatever happened at the beginning doesn't matter. What matters is what we built together. Of course, Vanessa said sweetly. I didn't mean any offense. I'm just stating facts. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Why are you here, Vanessa? Ethan asked, his voice cold. I came to ask a favor, Vanessa said. The treatment is getting harder. I'm alone most of the time and it's difficult. I was hoping maybe I could spend some time here. With you. With your family. I promise I won't be any trouble. Absolutely not, I said immediately. Vanessa's eyes snapped to me. Excuse me? You heard me? I said, finding my courage. You can't stay here. This is our home. Our family's home. Ethan? Vanessa said, ignoring me completely and turning to him. Please, I'm dying. I just need somewhere to belong for a little while. Somewhere I feel safe. And then she did something that made my blood run cold. She reached out and took Ethan's hand. Please, she whispered, tears forming in her eyes. For old time's sake. Remember when we were happy together? Remember when you loved me? I watched Ethan's face, my heart pounding. Vanessa, he said gently but firmly, pulling his hand away. I'm sorry you're going through this. I really am. But Riley is right. You can't stay here. It wouldn't be appropriate. Vanessa's tears disappeared instantly. Her face went cold and hard. I see, she said quietly. So that's how it is. You'll abandon me too, just like everyone else. I'm not abandoning you, Ethan said. But I have a family now. I have responsibilities. I can help you find resources, support groups, anything you need. But I can't let you stay in my house. Vanessa looked between Ethan and me, and then she smiled that predator smile again. Fine, she said. I understand. But can I ask one more favor? Can I at least visit sometimes? Just to talk? It would mean a lot to me. Ethan looked at me. I could see he felt guilty. He felt bad for this dying woman who was alone. And I knew that if I said no, I would look like the cruel, heartless wife who wouldn't let her husband show kindness to a dying woman. I was trapped. Fine, I said, my voice tight. You can visit. Sometimes. But not often. Vanessa's smile widened. Thank you, Riley. You're so understanding. I can see why Ethan loves you. The way she said it made me feel like she was mocking me. After she left, I turned to Ethan. I don't trust her, I said. Neither do I, Ethan admitted. But she's dying, Riley. What was I supposed to do? I don't know, I said honestly. But I have a bad feeling about this. It'll be okay, Ethan said, pulling me close. I won't let her cause problems for us. But as I stood there in his arms, I couldn't shake the memory of the way Vanessa had looked at me, like I was an obstacle, something to be removed. Over the next 2 weeks, Vanessa visited 4 times. Each time, she would show up looking perfect despite her illness. Each time, she would talk to Ethan for hours while I tried to busy myself with housework or taking care of Hope. Each time, she would find little ways to remind Ethan of their past together. Remember that summer we went to the lake? She would say, laughing. Remember how you pushed me off the dock and I pulled you in after me? Remember our first date? You were so nervous you spilled wine all over your shirt. Remember when you proposed? You had that whole speech planned, but you forgot everything and just said, please marry me. And I said yes immediately. Every memory felt like a knife in my heart. I tried to be understanding. I tried to remember that she was sick and dying. But watching her sit in my living room, in my house, talking to my husband about their happy memories together, it was torture. And Ethan seemed different after each visit. More distant, more thoughtful, like he was stuck in the past. Tyler noticed it too. "Riley, are you okay?" He asked me one evening after Vanessa had left. "You seem upset." "I'm fine," I lied. "Is it that woman, Vanessa?" Tyler asked. "She seems." "Seems what?" I asked. "Fake," Tyler said bluntly. "Like she's performing. Every time she talks, it feels rehearsed. Like she's trying too hard to seem vulnerable and helpless." "You noticed that too?" I asked, relieved that I wasn't imagining it. "Riley, I don't think she's here just to make peace before she dies," Tyler said seriously. "I think she wants Ethan back." "But she knows he's married," I said. "She knows he has a family. Do you think that matters to someone desperate?" Tyler asked. "If she really does only have a year left to live, she might do anything to get what she wants." His words sent chills down my spine. "What should I do?" I asked. "Talk to Ethan," Tyler said. "Tell him how you're feeling. Don't let this fester." That night, after Hope was asleep, I tried to talk to Ethan. "Can we talk about Vanessa?" I asked. Ethan sighed. "What about her?" "She's been coming over a lot," I said carefully. "And every time she does, you seem different." "Different how?" Ethan asked, sounding defensive. "Distant," I said. "Like you're thinking about the past instead of being present with me and Hope." "Riley, I'm just trying to be kind to someone who's dying," Ethan said, his voice tired. "Can you please not make this into a bigger deal than it is?" His words stung. "I'm not making it into a big deal. I'm telling you how I feel. And I'm telling you that you don't need to worry," Ethan said. "Vanessa is just a friend. An old friend who needs support. That's all." "Is it?" I asked. "Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like she's trying to remind you of everything you had with her. Everything you lost. And I'm worried that—" "That what?" Ethan interrupted. "That I'm going to leave you for a dying woman? Riley, come on. You're being ridiculous." The word ridiculous felt like a slap across the face. "I'm being ridiculous?" I repeated, my voice shaking. "I'm being ridiculous for being concerned that your ex-fiancée is spending hours in our house, reliving your past together, while you get more and more distant from me? You're overreacting," Ethan said, standing up. "I'm going to bed." He walked out of the room, leaving me sitting there alone. That was our first real fight. And it scared me more than anything Vanessa could do. Because Vanessa wasn't just trying to take Ethan away from me. She was succeeding in driving a wedge between us. The next week, something happened that made everything worse. I was in the kitchen making lunch when Ethan's phone rang. He was in the shower, so I glanced at the screen without thinking. It was Vanessa. I hesitated. I knew I shouldn't answer his phone, but something made me do it anyway. "Hello," I said. There was silence on the other end. Then Vanessa's voice, cold and sharp. "Put Ethan on the phone." "He's in the shower," I said. "Can I take a message?" "Tell him I need to see him," Vanessa said. "Today. It's urgent." "What's wrong?" I asked, concerned despite myself. "Is your health—" "That's between Ethan and me," Vanessa interrupted. "Just tell him to call me back." Immediately, she hung up. When Ethan got out of the shower, I told him about the call. "She said it was urgent," I said. She sounded upset. Ethan immediately called her back. I watched his face as he talked to her, saw the concern and worry there. "I'll be right there," he said finally, and hung up. "What's wrong?" I asked. "She's having a medical emergency," Ethan said, already grabbing his keys. "She needs someone to take her to the hospital." "Can't she call an ambulance?" I asked. "Riley, she's alone and scared," Ethan said a bit impatiently. "I'm going to help her. I'll be back soon." He left before I could say anything else. He didn't come home for 6 hours. When he finally did, it was almost midnight. I was sitting on the couch, waiting. "Where have you been?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "At the hospital with Vanessa," Ethan said, looking exhausted. They ran a bunch of tests. It was a false alarm, she's okay. But she was really scared and I didn't want to leave her alone. You were gone for 6 hours, Ethan, I said. For a false alarm. She needed me, Ethan said simply. I needed you, I said, my voice breaking. Hope needed you. We had dinner without you. Hope kept asking where Daddy was. I had to lie and say you were working late. I'm sorry, Ethan said, but his voice was distracted. But Vanessa doesn't have anyone else. And whose fault is that? I asked, feeling anger rise in my chest. She pushed everyone away. She left you when you needed her most. Why do you owe her anything? Because I'm not like her, Ethan said, his voice sharp. I don't abandon people when they need me, even if they abandoned me first. So you're going to let her manipulate you with her illness? I asked. You're going to let her take over our lives? That's not what's happening, Ethan said. Isn't it? I challenged. Ethan, can't you see what she's doing? Every time she calls, you drop everything. Every time she visits, you ignore me. She's slowly taking you away from me, and you're letting her. You're being paranoid, Ethan said. There was that word again. Paranoid. Ridiculous. Like my feelings didn't matter. Fine, I said, standing up. If I'm being paranoid, then I'll leave you alone. I walked to our bedroom, locked the door, and cried myself to sleep. Ethan slept on the couch that night. It was the first time we had slept apart since our real wedding. And as I lay there in our bed, alone, I wondered how we had gotten here so fast. Just 3 weeks ago, we had been happy. We had been in love. We had been a family. Now it felt like everything was falling apart. And Vanessa was standing in the middle of the wreckage, smiling. The next morning, I woke up determined to get answers. If Vanessa was really sick, there would be medical records. There would be doctors. There would be proof. I called Linda, Ethan's mother. Linda, I need to talk to you about something, I said. It's about Vanessa. Oh, that woman, Linda said, her voice disapproving. Ethan told me she was back. I don't like it, Riley. I never liked her, even when they were engaged. Why not? I asked. She was always manipulative, Linda said. Always finding ways to make Ethan feel guilty or responsible for her happiness. When he went overseas, she would call constantly, crying about how lonely she was, how scared she was. She made his service about her instead of supporting him. Did you ever meet her family? I asked. Once, Linda said. They seemed nice enough. Her mother was a doctor, I think. Her father was a lawyer. Linda. Vanessa told Ethan that her family disowned her after she left him. I said. That she has no one. But would a doctor's family really disown their daughter? Especially if she was sick. There was silence on the other end of the line. That is strange, Linda said slowly. Most families would rally around a sick child, not abandon them. Can you help me find out the truth? I asked. I need to know if she's really sick. I need to know if she's telling the truth about anything. Give me a day, Linda said. I'll make some calls. True to her word, Linda called me back the next afternoon. Riley, you need to sit down for this, she said, her voice serious. My heart started pounding. What did you find out? Vanessa is sick, Linda said. But it's not cancer. What? I gasped. She has a chronic illness called lupus, Linda explained. It's serious, and it does require treatment, but it's not terminal. She's not dying. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. She lied. It gets worse, Linda continued. I called her mother. I still had her number from when Ethan and Vanessa were engaged. Her mother said Vanessa's family didn't disown her. They've been begging her to come home, to let them help her. But Vanessa refuses. She's been moving around from city to city, apparently searching for Ethan. She's been looking for him? I whispered. Her mother said Vanessa became obsessed after she heard about Ethan waking from the coma and getting married, Linda said. She convinced herself that Ethan only married you because he was confused or manipulated while he was vulnerable. She thinks she can win him back. Rage flooded through me. That lying, manipulative. There's more, Linda interrupted. I did some digging into her finances. Vanessa isn't broke. She has a trust fund from her grandparents. She has money. She has resources. Everything she told Ethan about being alone and helpless was a lie. I felt sick. I need to tell Ethan. Yes, you do, Linda agreed. But Riley? Be prepared. Ethan is a good man, but he's also proud. He might not want to admit that he was fooled. Be gentle with him. That evening, I prepared Ethan's favorite meal. I waited until Tyler had taken Hope to the park so we could talk alone. Ethan, we need to talk, I said as we sat down at the table. If this is about Vanessa again, he started. It is, I interrupted. But please just hear me out. I found out some things and you need to know the truth. I told him everything Linda had discovered. With each revelation, I watched Ethan's face change from skepticism to confusion to anger. She's not dying? He said finally, his voice hollow. No, I said gently. She has lupus, which is serious, but it's manageable. She's not dying. Ethan stood up abruptly, knocking his chair backward. She lied to me. She looked me in the eye and lied. Yes, I said. And her family? They didn't disown her? Ethan asked. No, I said. They've been trying to help her. She's the one who pushed them away. Ethan ran his hands through his hair, pacing back and forth. Why? Why would she do this? Because she wants you back, I said softly. She's been obsessed with the idea since she heard you woke up and got married. Ethan stopped pacing and looked at me with devastated eyes. Riley, I'm so sorry. I should have listened to you. You tried to tell me something was wrong, and I called you paranoid and ridiculous. You were trying to do the right thing, I said, standing up and walking to him. You were trying to help someone you thought was dying. That's who you are. It's one of the reasons I love you. But I hurt you, Ethan said, his voice breaking. I chose her feelings over yours. I let her drive a wedge between us. I'm so sorry. I hugged him tightly. I forgive you. But now we need to deal with her. Together. Ethan pulled back and looked at me. His eyes had that cold, determined look I had seen 3 years ago when he first woke from the coma. The soldier was back. Oh, we're going to deal with her all right, he said quietly. And when I'm done, she's going to regret ever coming back into my life. That night, after Tyler brought Hope home and we put her to bed, Ethan, Tyler, and I sat around the kitchen table making a plan. We need to be smart about this, Ethan said, his voice cold and calculated. Vanessa lied to manipulate me. She's been playing games with our family. But we can't just accuse her without proof that she'll have to admit to. What kind of proof? Tyler asked. We need her to confess, I said. We need her to admit that she lied about dying, that she's been manipulating Ethan, that she came here to break up our marriage. But how do we get her to confess? Tyler asked. She's clearly good at lying. Ethan looked at me. Riley, I need you to do something that's going to be hard. I need you to trust me, even when it looks like I'm choosing her over you. My stomach twisted. What do you mean? I'm going to pretend that her manipulation is working, Ethan explained. I'm going to act like I'm confused about my feelings, like I'm starting to remember what I had with her and questioning my marriage to you. Absolutely not, I said immediately, standing up. Ethan, no. I can't watch you pretend to fall for her. It's the only way, Ethan said, grabbing my hands. If she thinks she's winning, she'll get confident. She'll let her guard down. And when she does, she'll reveal her true intentions. We'll record everything, and then we'll have proof of what she's been doing. This is a terrible idea, I said, tears filling my eyes. What if you actually start having feelings for her again? What if the pretending becomes real? Ethan stood and cupped my face in his hands. Riley Anderson Cole, listen to me. I love you. Only you. You are my wife, the mother of my child, the woman who saved my life. Nothing Vanessa does or says will ever change that. This is just an act. A performance to trap someone who's trying to destroy our family. How long? I asked, my voice shaking. How long will you have to pretend? I don't know, Ethan admitted. But I promise you, the moment we have what we need, I will end this. And Vanessa will be out of our lives forever. Tyler spoke up. I'll help. I can be there during some of the meetings, maybe record things secretly. And Riley, I'll be here with you when things get hard. You won't be alone. I looked between my husband and my brother. Two of the most important men in my life, both trying to protect me and our family. Okay, I finally said, even though everything in me screamed that this was wrong. But Ethan, the moment this gets too real, the moment you feel anything shifting, you tell me, promise me. I promise, Ethan said, kissing my forehead. I promise. 2 days later, Vanessa called Ethan again. This time, he answered on speakerphone with me and Tyler in the room, recording everything. Ethan. Vanessa's voice came through, soft and vulnerable. I need to see you. I've been thinking a lot, and I really need to talk to you about something important. Ethan took a deep breath, and I watched him transform. His voice became softer, less certain. Vanessa, I've been thinking too, he said. About us. About the past. Can you come over tomorrow? Riley will be taking Hope to a playdate, so we can talk privately. I flinched at the words, even though I knew they were fake. Really? Vanessa said, and I could hear the excitement in her voice. Oh, Ethan, yes. Yes, I'll be there. Thank you for giving me this chance. After he hung up, Ethan immediately pulled me into his arms. That was the hardest thing I've ever done, he whispered, pretending to be interested in seeing her. You were very convincing, I said, trying to keep my voice light but failing. Riley, look at me, Ethan said, tilting my chin up. Every word I said to her was a lie. Every single word. The only truth in my life is you. I nodded, blinking back tears. I know. This is going to be harder than I thought. The next day, I took Hope to her friend's house for a playdate, but I didn't go far. Tyler and I parked down the street from our house, where we could see if Vanessa arrived, but she couldn't see us. Ethan had set up hidden cameras in the living room and kitchen. We had his phone connected to mine so I could hear everything that was said. At exactly 2 o'clock, Vanessa's car pulled into our driveway. She got out wearing a beautiful sundress that showed off her figure. Her wig was perfectly styled. She looked healthy and vibrant, nothing like someone who was supposedly dying. I watched through binoculars as she walked to the front door. Ethan opened it, and they went inside. My phone buzzed, and suddenly I could hear everything. Thank you for seeing me. Vanessa's voice came through. I know this is awkward, but I really appreciate it. It's okay, Ethan said, and I heard him use that uncertain, confused tone again. I've been doing a lot of thinking since you came back. About us. About what we had. Me too, Vanessa said. Ethan, I made the biggest mistake of my life when I left you. I was scared and weak, and I ran away when you needed me most. But I've regretted it every single day since. Why did you really leave? Ethan asked. Tell me the truth. There was a pause. Then Vanessa spoke, and her voice was different now, more calculated. Because I couldn't handle seeing you like that, she said. So helpless and broken. It wasn't the man I fell in love with. But now you're awake and strong again. And I realized that the man I loved is still here. He just needed time to come back. I gripped Tyler's arm so hard I probably left bruises. The audacity of this woman. The sheer cruelty of her words. But I'm married now, Ethan said. I have a daughter. A marriage you didn't choose, Vanessa said quickly. Ethan, you were unconscious. You had no say in marrying Riley. She took advantage of your situation. That's not true, Ethan said, and I could hear real anger creeping into his voice. He was having trouble keeping up the act. Isn't it? Vanessa pressed. Think about it. Her family forced her to marry you for money and connections. She didn't love you. She didn't even know you. She married a body in a hospital bed. She stayed with me, Ethan said. She talked to me every day. She's the one who brought me back. Or maybe you would have woken up anyway, Vanessa said. Maybe she just happened to be there. Ethan, I know you feel obligated to her because she was there when you woke up. But obligation isn't love. And I truly love you. I always have. I heard movement, and then Vanessa's voice got closer to the microphone. I love you, Ethan, she said. And I know you still love me too. I can see it in your eyes when you look at me. You remember what we had. You remember how good we were together. Vanessa, Ethan said, his voice strained. Just one kiss, Vanessa whispered. Just one kiss to see if the spark is still there. If you feel nothing, I'll leave. I'll never bother you again. But if you feel what I feel, then you'll know that Riley was just a placeholder. That I'm the one you're supposed to be with. My heart stopped. Tyler grabbed my hand. No, Ethan said firmly, and I nearly cried with relief. Vanessa, no. I'm not going to kiss you. I'm married. And I love my wife. Do you? Vanessa challenged. Or do you just love the idea of being a hero who saved the poor, abused girl? Do you love her? Or do you love how she makes you feel about yourself? I love her, Ethan said, his voice strong now. I love Riley. Not you. There was a long silence. Then Vanessa's voice came back, and it was cold. All the sweetness was gone. Fine, she said. But this isn't over, Ethan. I'm not giving up. I'll find a way to make you remember what we had. And when I do, you'll realize that marrying Riley was a mistake. I think you should leave, Ethan said. I'm going, Vanessa said. But Ethan, I wasn't lying about being sick. I wasn't lying about needing you. And when you finally realize what you've lost by choosing her over me, don't come crying back to me. I heard the front door slam. A moment later, Vanessa came storming out of the house, got in her car, and drove away. Tyler and I drove back to the house immediately. I ran inside and found Ethan standing in the living room, his hands shaking. Did you get all of that? He asked. Every word, Tyler said, holding up his phone where he'd been recording the audio. I threw my arms around Ethan. I'm so sorry you had to do that. I'm so sorry she said those things about our marriage. None of it was true, Ethan said, holding me tight. None of it. But Riley, did you hear what she said at the end? About not lying about being sick. Yes, I said, pulling back. But we know she is lying. Your mother confirmed it. I know, Ethan said. But the way she said it, she genuinely believes her own lies. Riley, I don't think Vanessa is just manipulative. I think she might actually be delusional. Tyler spoke up. That makes her more dangerous. If she really believes her own lies, there's no telling what she might do. We need more evidence, Ethan said. We need her to admit on camera that she's not dying. That she came here specifically to break up our marriage. That recording is good. But we need something even more concrete. How do we do that? I asked. Ethan's jaw tightened. We set a trap. Over the next 3 days, Ethan continued to play his part. He called Vanessa and apologized for rejecting her. He told her he was confused and needed time to sort out his feelings. Vanessa, thinking she was winning, became bolder. She started calling and texting constantly. She started showing up at the house unannounced. She even suggested that Ethan bring Hope to meet her, which made my blood boil. Absolutely not, I said when Ethan told me. She is not meeting our daughter. I already told her no, Ethan assured me. I told her it was too soon, that Hope wouldn't understand. Finally, Ethan suggested they meet at a restaurant for dinner. Somewhere public where Vanessa would feel safe and comfortable. What Vanessa didn't know was that Tyler would be there too, at a nearby table, recording everything with a hidden camera in his jacket. The night of the dinner, I stayed home with Hope, watching the live feed on Ethan's phone that Tyler was streaming to me. I watched Vanessa arrive at the restaurant wearing a stunning black dress. I watched her hug Ethan a little too long. I watched them sit down at a corner table. And I listened as Vanessa slowly revealed her true self. I'm so glad you agreed to meet me, Vanessa said, reaching across the table to take Ethan's hand. I was starting to think you'd never come around. I've been thinking a lot, Ethan said, playing his part perfectly. About us, about what you said, about how maybe Riley was just convenient. Vanessa's eyes lit up. Exactly. You see it now, don't you? She was there at the right time and you felt obligated. But that's not real love. But she is my wife, Ethan said. We have a daughter together. A daughter you can still see, Vanessa said quickly. Ethan, people get divorced all the time. It doesn't mean you're a bad father. It just means you made a mistake and you're correcting it. I don't know, Ethan said, pretending to be uncertain. This would destroy Riley. After everything she's been through with her family. Riley is stronger than you think, Vanessa said dismissively. She'll survive. She survived her terrible family, didn't she? She'll survive this too. And honestly, Ethan, you're not responsible for her happiness. You're responsible for your own. And you think being with you would make me happy? Ethan asked. I know it would, Vanessa said confidently. Remember how good we were together? Remember how we used to laugh? How we understood each other perfectly. That's real love, Ethan. Not this obligation you have with Riley. Ethan leaned back in his chair. Vanessa, can I ask you something? Anything, she said. Are you really dying? Ethan asked bluntly. Vanessa's face froze. For just a moment, I saw panic flash in her eyes. Then she recovered. Of course I am, she said, but her voice was less certain. The doctors said. What doctors? Ethan interrupted. What's the name of your oncologist? What hospital are you being treated at? Vanessa's mouth opened and closed. Why are you asking me this? Because I want to help, Ethan said smoothly. If you're really dying, I want to make sure you're getting the best care. My family has connections. We can get you into the best treatment centers in the country. That's not necessary, Vanessa stammered. I'm already getting good care. Then tell me where, Ethan pressed. Tell me the name of your doctor. Let me call them and see if there's anything we can do to help. Vanessa's face was pale now. She looked trapped. I don't want to talk about my medical treatment right now, she said finally. This dinner is supposed to be about us, not my illness. But your illness is why you came back, Ethan said. You said you wanted to make things right before you died. So if you're dying, let's make sure you get every possible day. Tell me who your doctor is. No, Vanessa said, her voice rising. Ethan, stop interrogating me. I'm not interrogating you, Ethan said calmly. I'm trying to help you. Unless there's no doctor. Unless you're not actually dying. Vanessa stood up abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. Several other diners looked over. How dare you? She hissed. How dare you accuse me of lying about cancer? I didn't say cancer, Ethan said quietly. I just said dying. You're the one who said cancer. Vanessa's face went white. She had just trapped herself. You're trying to trick me, she said, her voice shaking. Riley put you up to this, didn't she? She's been poisoning you against me. Riley has nothing to do with this, Ethan said, standing up as well. This is about you, Vanessa. About the lies you've been telling. About the manipulation. About trying to destroy my marriage. I'm not trying to destroy anything, Vanessa said loudly. I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you from a woman who only married you for money. Who only stayed with you because she had no other choice. Riley had a choice, Ethan said, his voice hard. She could have left any time after I woke up. She could have asked for an annulment. But she didn't. She stayed because she loves me. And I love her. Vanessa's face twisted with rage. You're making a mistake. No, Ethan said. You made the mistake. You thought you could manipulate me. You thought you could use fake tears and fake illness to make me leave my wife. But you failed. I'm not faking anything, Vanessa screamed, and now everyone in the restaurant was staring. I am sick. I do need you. Then prove it, Ethan said coldly. Show me your medical records. Show me proof that you're dying. If you can do that, I'll apologize for ever doubting you. Vanessa stood there, breathing hard, tears streaming down her face. But they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of rage and frustration. I don't have to prove anything to you, she said finally. You're supposed to trust me. You're supposed to love me. I did love you, Ethan said quietly. Past tense. But you killed that love when you walked away from me while I was in a coma. And you killed any chance of even friendship when you came here to manipulate me and hurt my wife. She's not worthy of you, Vanessa shouted. She's more worthy of me than you ever were, Ethan said. And now I want you to leave. Leave this restaurant. Leave this city. And never contact me or my family again. Vanessa looked around the restaurant at all the people staring at her. Her face was red. Her makeup was running from her tears. And she looked nothing like the poised, perfect woman who had shown up at our house weeks ago. You'll regret this, she said, her voice low and venomous. You'll regret choosing her over me. The only thing I regret, Ethan said, is ever letting you back into my life. Vanessa grabbed her purse and ran out of the restaurant. Ethan stood there for a moment, then looked directly at where Tyler was sitting. He gave a small nod. We had it all on camera. Every word, every lie, every manipulation. That night, Ethan came home and found me waiting on the couch. Hope was asleep in her room. Tyler had texted me that he got everything on camera and was on his way home. Ethan sat down next to me and immediately pulled me into his arms. It's over, he said. She's gone. I burst into tears. All the stress and fear and anxiety from the past few weeks came pouring out. I was so scared. I sobbed into his chest. I was so scared I was going to lose you. You were never going to lose me, Ethan said fiercely. Never, Riley. You're stuck with me for life. But what if she comes back? I asked. What if she doesn't give up? She won't, Ethan said. Because if she does, we have all the evidence we need to get a restraining order. We have her on camera admitting to manipulating me, trying to destroy our marriage, and lying about her medical condition. If she comes near us again, she'll face legal consequences. Tyler arrived a few minutes later with his laptop. He had already uploaded all the footage and audio recordings to a secure cloud drive. We have everything, he said, showing us the files. Every conversation, every lie, every manipulation. If we need to, we can bury her with this evidence. I don't want to bury her, I said quietly. I just want her gone, out of our lives, forever. She will be, Ethan promised. I'll make sure of it. For 3 days, everything was quiet. No calls, no texts, no surprise visits. I started to relax. I started to believe that maybe Vanessa had finally given up and gone home. But I was wrong. On the 4th day, I was at the grocery store with Hope when my phone rang. It was the school's main office. Mrs. Cole? The secretary said. I'm calling because there's a woman here who says she's Hope's aunt. She's asking to pick Hope up early. My blood ran cold. What woman? What's her name? She says her name is Vanessa, the secretary said. But she's not on Hope's approved pickup list, so we didn't release her. We wanted to check with you first. Do not let that woman anywhere near my daughter, I said, my voice shaking. She is not Hope's aunt. She is not family. She is not allowed to pick her up. I'm calling the police right now. I hung up and immediately called Ethan, then the police. By the time we got to the school, 2 police officers were already there, talking to Vanessa in the parking lot. I held Hope tightly, keeping her behind me as we approached. Vanessa looked terrible. Her wig was slightly crooked. Her makeup was smudged. Her clothes were wrinkled. She looked like someone who was unraveling. Mrs. Cole? One of the officers said. Is this the woman you called about? Yes, I said. She tried to pick up my daughter from school without permission. She is not family. She has no right to be here. I just wanted to meet her, Vanessa said desperately. I just wanted to see what Ethan's daughter looks like. Is that such a crime? Yes, Ethan said, arriving just then. It is. You were told to stay away from my family. You were told that if you came near us again, there would be consequences. Vanessa looked at Ethan with wild, desperate eyes. Ethan, please. I love you. I just want another chance. No, Ethan said firmly. It's over, Vanessa. We have restraining order paperwork ready to file. If you ever come near my wife, my daughter, or me again, you will be arrested. One of the police officers spoke up. Miss, I'm going to have to ask you to leave this property immediately, and I strongly suggest you don't contact this family again. Vanessa looked between all of us, me, Ethan, Hope, the police officers, and finally, I saw the fight go out of her. Her shoulders slumped. Her face crumpled. I just wanted to be loved, she whispered. I just wanted someone to choose me. For just a moment, I felt sorry for her, because underneath all the manipulation and lies, there was a broken, lonely woman who had pushed everyone away and then couldn't understand why she was alone. But then I remembered that she had tried to destroy my family. She had tried to take my husband. She had tried to take my daughter. And my sympathy disappeared. You need help, Vanessa, I said quietly. Professional help. But you won't find it here. You need to go home to your family and let them help you. Vanessa looked at me with hate-filled eyes one last time. Then she turned and walked to her car. We watched her drive away, and I knew, finally truly knew, that she was gone for good. The next few weeks were about healing. Ethan and I went to couples counseling to work through the damage Vanessa's manipulation had caused. We talked about trust, about communication, about making sure we always put each other first. I should have listened to you from the beginning, Ethan said during one session. You told me something was wrong with Vanessa, and I dismissed your feelings. I'm so sorry, Riley. You were trying to do the right thing, I said, taking his hand. You were trying to help someone you thought was dying. I can't fault you for having a good heart. But I hurt you in the process, Ethan said. And I never want to do that again. Then let's make a pact, I said. From now on, if either of us feels uncomfortable about something or someone, we talk about it immediately. No dismissing feelings. No calling each other paranoid or ridiculous. We trust each other's instincts. Deal? Ethan said, squeezing my hand. We also talked to Hope, explaining in age-appropriate terms that the nice lady wouldn't be coming around anymore, and that if anyone she didn't know tried to talk to her or pick her up from school, she should tell a teacher immediately. Tyler, who had been there through the whole ordeal, suggested we all take a family vacation to reconnect and make happy memories. You guys have been through hell, he said. You deserve some fun. So we went to the beach for a week. We built sandcastles with Hope. We went swimming. We ate ice cream and watched sunsets and remembered what it felt like to just be a happy family without any drama or manipulation or lies. On the last night of the vacation, after Hope was asleep, Ethan and I walked along the beach under the stars. Thank you, Ethan said suddenly. For what? I asked. For not giving up on us, he said. When Vanessa was trying to drive us apart, you could have walked away. You could have decided it wasn't worth the fight. But you stayed. You fought for our marriage. Of course I did, I said. You're my husband. You're the love of my life. I wasn't going to let some manipulative woman steal you away from me. Ethan stopped walking and turned to face me. Riley Anderson Cole, I promise you right here, right now, that I will never let anyone come between us again. You and Hope are my everything. You're my whole world. And you're ours? I said, tears in my eyes. He kissed me there on the beach, with the waves crashing behind us and the stars shining above us. And I knew without a doubt that we had survived the test. We had faced manipulation and lies and attacks on our marriage, and we had come out stronger on the other side. A month after we returned from vacation, I received a letter in the mail. It was from Vanessa. My first instinct was to throw it away without reading it. But something made me open it. Inside was a handwritten note. Dear Riley, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, and I don't blame you. I've spent the past month in therapy, working through my issues, and I've realized how wrong I was about everything. I was diagnosed with lupus 5 years ago, and instead of dealing with it in a healthy way, I became obsessed with the past. I convinced myself that if I could just get Ethan back, everything would be okay. I told myself lies until I believed them. I lied about the cancer. I lied about being alone. I lied about so many things. And worst of all, I tried to destroy your marriage because I was jealous of the love you and Ethan share. I'm writing to apologize. Not because I expect forgiveness, but because you deserve to hear it. You didn't do anything wrong. You saved Ethan when I abandoned him. You built a life with him when I was too cowardly to stay. I'm going back home to my family. I'm gonna get the help I need. And I promise you'll never hear from me again. I hope you and Ethan have a long, happy life together. He deserves that. And so do you. Vanessa. I read the letter twice, then showed it to Ethan. Do you think she means it? He asked. I don't know, I said honestly. But I choose to believe she does. I choose to believe that she's finally taking responsibility for her actions and getting help. That's very generous of you, Ethan said. It's not generous, I said. It's just me deciding to let go of the anger. She can't hurt us anymore. She has no power over us. So I'm choosing to forgive her, not for her sake, but for mine. Ethan hugged me tightly. Have I mentioned lately that you're an amazing woman? You might have mentioned it once or twice, I said, smiling. Life returned to normal. Better than normal, actually. Ethan got a promotion at work. Tyler was dating someone new, a wonderful woman named Sarah who Hope absolutely adored. Hope started kindergarten and was thriving. And I had started working part-time at a nonprofit that helped women escape abusive situations, using my own experience to help others find freedom and safety. One evening, as we were all having dinner together, me, Ethan, Hope, Tyler, and Sarah, I looked around the table and felt overwhelming gratitude. This was my family. Not the family I was born into, but the family I had chosen and built. After dinner, Ethan and I put Hope to bed together, reading her a story and tucking her in with her favorite stuffed animals. I love you, Mommy, Hope said sleepily. I love you, Daddy. We love you too, sweetheart, I said, kissing her forehead. As we walked out of her room, Ethan pulled me close. We did good, he said. We built something beautiful. Yes, we did, I agreed. And nobody, Ethan said, is ever going to take it away from us. I stared at the pregnancy test in my hand, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. 2 pink lines. Positive. I was pregnant with our second child. I should have been over the moon with happiness. I should have been excited to tell Ethan, to tell Hope she was going to be a big sister, to share the news with our family. But instead, all I could think about was the voicemail I had received that morning from a number I didn't recognize. A woman's voice, weak and trembling. Riley, this is Vanessa's mother, Dr. Patricia Chun. I'm so sorry to contact you after everything that happened, but I need your help. Vanessa is in the hospital. She's asking for Ethan. She says she's dying for real this time, and she needs to see him one last time. Please, I know she doesn't deserve your kindness, but I'm begging you. My daughter is truly dying now, and she needs closure before she goes. I had deleted the voicemail immediately. I had told myself I would never tell Ethan about it. Vanessa had caused us enough pain. We didn't owe her anything. But as I stood there holding that pregnancy test, thinking about new life and new beginnings, I couldn't stop thinking about endings too. About death and regret and unfinished business. And I knew, deep in my heart, that if I kept this secret from Ethan, it would haunt us both forever. Before I tell you how this impossible situation unfolded, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me what you think Riley should do. Should she tell Ethan about Vanessa's mother's call? Or should she keep it secret to protect her family? I want to hear your thoughts. Now let me take you through the hardest decision of my life. That evening, after Hope was in bed, I found Ethan in his home office working on some reports. Can we talk? I asked from the doorway. He looked up immediately, and I watched his face shift from work mode to concern. After everything we'd been through with Vanessa, he had become so attuned to my emotions that he could read me like a book. What's wrong? He asked, standing up and walking over to me. I took a deep breath. I have 2 things to tell you. One is wonderful news. The other is complicated. Ethan took my hands. Okay, tell me the wonderful news first. I smiled despite the nervousness churning in my stomach. We're going to have another baby. I'm pregnant. For a moment, Ethan just stared at me. Then a huge smile broke across his face, and he picked me up and spun me around. Are you serious? We're having another baby? He said, his voice filled with joy. Yes, I said, laughing as he set me down. I took 3 tests, all positive. Ethan kissed me deeply, then knelt down and kissed my still flat stomach. Hello in there, little one. I'm your daddy, and I already love you so much. Tears filled my eyes at the sight of him. This was the man I had married. This was the father of my children. This was the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, which made what I had to tell him next even harder. Ethan, I said quietly, there's something else. He stood up, and I watched the joy in his face shift to concern again. What is it? I told him about the voicemail from Vanessa's mother. I told him every word, watching his expression change from confusion to disbelief to pain. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. How long ago did you get this call? He asked finally. This morning, I said. I deleted it immediately. I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to pretend it never happened. But you're telling me now, Ethan said. Why? Because we promised, I said simply. We promised no secrets. And because, Ethan, if she's really dying this time and you don't go see her, you might regret it for the rest of your life. I don't want you to carry that regret. Ethan ran his hands through his hair, a gesture I knew meant he was stressed and trying to think clearly. This could be another manipulation, he said. Vanessa lied about dying before. What if this is just another trick? Her mother called, not Vanessa, I pointed out. And I looked up Dr. Patricia Chin. She's a real doctor. A respected oncologist, actually. I don't think she would participate in her daughter's manipulation. But Vanessa manipulated us for months, Ethan said. She made me doubt my own marriage. She tried to take you away from me. She tried to meet our daughter without permission. Why would I give her another chance to hurt us? You wouldn't be doing it for her, I said softly. You'd be doing it for you, for your own peace of mind, so that if she does die, you know you did the right thing. Ethan looked at me with tortured eyes. I don't want to go. I don't want to see her. I don't want to open that door again. I know, I said. But you think I should go anyway, he said. I think you should do whatever feels right to you, I said carefully. If you want to ignore this call and never think about Vanessa again, I will support that decision 100%. But if part of you thinks you'll regret not going, then maybe you should consider it. Ethan pulled me into his arms and held me tight. How did I get so lucky to have you? He whispered. You woke up from a coma and chose to love me, I said. That's pretty lucky for both of us. We stood there holding each other for a long time. Finally, Ethan pulled back and looked at me. If I go see her, he said slowly, I want you to come with me. What? I said, surprised. I'm not going alone, Ethan said firmly. If I'm going to do this, you're coming with me. I want Vanessa to see that we're a team, that nothing she says or does will ever come between us. Can you do that? I thought about it. The idea of seeing Vanessa again made me sick to my stomach. But I also understood what Ethan was saying. This would be our closure too, not just his. Okay, I said finally. We'll go together. The next morning, Ethan called the number from the voicemail. Dr. Patricia Chin answered on the second ring. Dr. Chun, this is Ethan Cole, he said. I received your message about Vanessa. I listened on speakerphone as Dr. Chen's voice came through, thick with emotion. Captain Cole, thank you so much for calling back, she said. I know after everything Vanessa put you through, you have every right to refuse. But I'm begging you to please come see her. Is she really dying this time? Ethan asked bluntly. There was a heavy pause. Yes, Vanessa's lupus has attacked her organs. Her kidneys are failing. She's been on dialysis, but it's not working anymore. The doctors say she has maybe 2 weeks left. I saw Ethan's face go pale. Whatever Vanessa had done, hearing that she was actually dying was still a shock. What happened? Ethan asked. When she left here a few months ago, her lupus was manageable. She stopped taking her medications, Dr. Chan said, her voice breaking. After the incident at your daughter's school, Vanessa spiraled. She fell into a deep depression. She stopped taking care of herself. By the time we realized what was happening and got her back home, the damage was done. Guilt flashed across Ethan's face, and I immediately grabbed his hand and squeezed it. This was not his fault. What does she want from me? Ethan asked. She wants to apologize to you and your wife in person, Dr. Chun said. She wants to take responsibility for what she did. And she wants to say goodbye. Captain Cole, I know my daughter lied to you. I know she manipulated you and tried to destroy your marriage. But she's still my child, and she's dying. Please, I'm begging you. Give her this one last chance to make peace. Ethan looked at me. I nodded slowly. Okay, Ethan said. My wife and I will come see her. But Dr. Chun, I need you to understand something. This visit is for closure, nothing more. Vanessa is not going to manipulate us again. If she tries, we're leaving immediately. I understand, Dr. Chun said. And thank you so much. She's at St. Mary's Hospital, room 412. Can you come today? Ethan looked at me again. I nodded. We'll be there this afternoon, Ethan said. Tyler agreed to watch Hope for us. Before we left, I hugged my brother tightly. Are you sure about this? Tyler asked. After everything she did to you guys? No, I admitted. But I think it's the right thing to do. Even if she doesn't deserve our forgiveness, we deserve the peace that comes from offering it. You're a better person than I am, Tyler said. If someone had tried to destroy my family like she did, I don't think I could be in the same room with them. I'm not doing it for her, I said. I'm doing it for us, for Ethan, so we can close this chapter forever. The drive to St. Mary's Hospital took 40 minutes. Ethan held my hand the entire way, neither of us speaking much. What was there to say? We were about to walk into a room with a woman who had tried to destroy our marriage and tell her. What? That we forgave her? That we understood? I didn't know. I just knew we had to be there. At the hospital, we found room 412 on the 4th floor. Dr. Chun was standing outside the door. She was a small Asian woman in her late 50s, with kind eyes and an exhausted expression. Captain Cole, she said, extending her hand. Mrs. Cole, thank you for coming. I know this isn't easy. How is she? Ethan asked. Dr. Chen's eyes filled with tears. Weak, in pain, but mentally clear. She knows what's happening to her. She knows she's dying. She looked between us. I want to apologize for my daughter's behavior. I raised her better than that. I don't know where we went wrong. But you didn't go wrong, I interrupted gently. Sometimes people make their own choices, good or bad. That's not your fault. Dr. Chun smiled sadly. You're very kind. Vanessa is lucky that Ethan found you instead of... She trailed off, then cleared her throat. She's ready to see you now. I'll give you privacy. She opened the door, and Ethan and I walked in together. The woman in the hospital bed looked nothing like the vibrant, beautiful Vanessa who had shown up at our house months ago. This woman was thin and pale, with dark circles under her eyes. Her real hair, short and dark, was visible now, no wig. She was hooked up to machines just like Ethan had been when I first met him. The irony wasn't lost on me. Vanessa's eyes opened when she heard us enter. When she saw Ethan, tears immediately started rolling down her cheeks. You came, she whispered, her voice hoarse. You actually came. Your mother asked us to, Ethan said, his voice carefully neutral. She said you wanted to talk to us. Vanessa's eyes moved to me, and I saw shame flash across her face. Riley, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I didn't say anything. I just stood next to Ethan, holding his hand. I know sorry isn't enough, Vanessa continued, struggling to breathe. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you both to know that I take full responsibility for what I did. I lied. I manipulated. I tried to destroy your marriage because I was jealous and bitter and broken. Why? Ethan asked quietly. Why did you come back after all those years? Why couldn't you just let me go? Vanessa closed her eyes, more tears spilling out. Because when I heard you woke up and got married, I realized what I'd lost. I realized that I'd walked away from the best thing that ever happened to me. And instead of accepting that I'd made a terrible mistake, I convinced myself that your marriage wasn't real, that you'd been manipulated, that if I could just get you back, Everything would be okay. She opened her eyes and looked at me. But then I met you, Riley, and I saw how Ethan looked at you. I saw the love in his eyes, and I realized that what you two have is real. More real than what Ethan and I ever had. And instead of accepting that gracefully, I tried to tear it apart. You almost succeeded, I said quietly. It was the first time I'd spoken since entering the room. I know, Vanessa whispered. And I'm so sorry. Riley, you did nothing wrong. You saved Ethan's life. You loved him when I was too cowardly to stay. You built a family with him. And I tried to destroy all of that because I was selfish and delusional. She turned her attention back to Ethan. Ethan, I need you to know something. When I left you in that hospital room, when I walked away from you in the coma, I told myself it was because I couldn't handle seeing you like that. But the truth is, I was always selfish. I loved the strong, capable soldier who made me feel safe and protected. When you were vulnerable and broken, I didn't want to be the one doing the protecting. I wanted to be protected. And that makes me a terrible person. Yes, it does, Ethan said bluntly. But you're taking responsibility for it now. That counts for something. Vanessa smiled weakly. I'm only taking responsibility because I'm dying and I have nothing left to lose. If I was still healthy, I'd probably still be in denial. She took a shaky breath. I stopped taking my medications after the incident at Hope School. I wanted to die. I thought if I couldn't have you, I didn't want to live. But now that I'm actually dying, I realize how stupid that was. Life is precious, even when it's painful. And I wasted so much of mine being bitter and angry. She looked at both of us. I called you here to apologize, but also to ask for something. And you can say no, I'll understand. But I'm going to ask anyway. What? Ethan asked cautiously. Forgive me, Vanessa whispered. Not for my sake, but for yours. Don't carry anger and resentment because of what I did. Don't let my mistakes poison your beautiful life together. Forgive me so you can be free of me completely. The room was silent except for the beeping of the machines. I looked at Ethan. He looked at me. And in that moment we had an entire conversation without words. Finally, Ethan spoke. I forgive you, Vanessa. I forgive you for leaving me when I was in the coma. I forgive you for coming back and trying to destroy my marriage. I forgive you for all of it. Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. Vanessa sobbed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ethan looked at me, asking silently if I could forgive her too. I took a deep breath. I forgive you too, Vanessa. I forgive you for trying to take my husband. I forgive you for trying to meet my daughter without permission. I forgive you for the lies and the manipulation. And I hope that in whatever comes next for you, you find the peace you were looking for. Vanessa looked at me with something like wonder in her eyes. How can you be so kind after what I did to you? Because holding on to anger would only hurt me, I said simply. You can't hurt us anymore, Vanessa. We won't let you. So I'm choosing to let go of the anger and the fear. I'm choosing to move forward with my life. You're an amazing woman, Vanessa said softly. Ethan is lucky to have you. Yes, he is. I agreed, and despite everything, I smiled slightly. Vanessa laughed weakly, then winced in pain. I'm glad he found you. I'm glad he got his happy ending, even if it wasn't with me. We stayed for another 20 minutes, talking quietly. Vanessa asked about Hope, and Ethan showed her a picture on his phone. She smiled sadly at it. She's beautiful, Vanessa said. She has your eyes, Ethan. She has Riley's heart, Ethan said, squeezing my hand. When it was time to leave, Vanessa called out to us one more time. Ethan? Riley? We turned back. Be happy, Vanessa said, tears streaming down her face. Be so happy. Love each other fiercely. Raise your children in a home full of love. Don't take a single moment together for granted. Promise me. We promise, Ethan said quietly. We walked out of the room and found Dr. Chun waiting in the hallway. Thank you, she said, wiping her own tears. You gave her something she desperately needed. Closure. How long does she have? I asked gently. The doctors say a week, maybe 2, Dr. Chun said. Her kidneys are shutting down. Once that happens, it will be quick. I'm sorry, Ethan said. I'm sorry for your loss. Dr. Chun nodded. Thank you for coming. Thank you for forgiving her. I know she didn't deserve it, but as her mother, I'm grateful you gave it to her anyway. As we walked out of the hospital, Ethan pulled me close. How do you feel? He asked. Sad, I admitted. Relieved. Free. All at once. Me too, Ethan said. I didn't realize how much anger I was still carrying until I let it go. Do you think she really meant it? I asked. The apology? Yes, Ethan said without hesitation. Facing death has a way of making people honest. She meant every word. We drove home in silence, both lost in our thoughts. 2 weeks later, Dr. Chun called Ethan. She passed away this morning, Dr. Chun said quietly, peacefully in her sleep. I wanted you to know, and I wanted to thank you again for giving her that closure. She died with a smile on her face. She died at peace. After Ethan hung up, he sat down heavily on the couch. I sat next to him and took his hand. Are you okay? I asked. Yeah, he said after a moment. I am. Strange. I spent so long being angry at her for leaving me, and then I spent months being angry at her for trying to destroy us. But now that she's gone, I just feel sad. Sad that her life ended the way it did. Sad that she spent her last years being so bitter and broken. But we're not broken, I said softly. We survived her. We survived the test. And we're stronger because of it. Yes, we are, Ethan agreed. He placed his hand on my stomach, where our second child was growing. And we're going to keep building our life together. Our beautiful, messy, wonderful life. Our son was born on a sunny spring morning. We named him James, after Ethan's grandfather. Hope was obsessed with her baby brother from the moment she met him. She insisted on helping with everything, bringing diapers, picking out clothes, singing him lullabies. Tyler and Sarah got engaged, and we threw them a huge party at our house. Linda and Mr. Cole doted on their grandchildren constantly, and Linda told me at least once a week how proud she was of the family we'd built. My father reached out occasionally, sending cards for birthdays and holidays. I responded politely but kept my distance. Some relationships couldn't be fully repaired, and that was okay. I never heard from Victoria, Cassandra, or Derek again. I heard through mutual acquaintances that they were still struggling financially, still dealing with the consequences of their own choices. I felt no satisfaction in that, but I also felt no sympathy. They had made their choices just like I had made mine. One evening, when James was 3 months old, Ethan and I were sitting on our back porch while Hope played in the yard and James slept in his bassinet next to us. Do you ever think about how we started? Ethan asked suddenly. All the time, I said. I think about that scared girl standing in a hospital room, about to marry a man in a coma. I think about being trapped in the darkness, hearing your voice, fighting to come back to you, Ethan said. Do you ever regret it? I asked. The way we got together? Never, Ethan said firmly. Yes, the beginning was unconventional. Yes, we were forced into it by circumstances beyond our control. But everything that came after, that was our choice. We chose to love each other. We chose to build this life. We chose to fight for our family when someone tried to tear it apart. He took my hand and kissed it. Riley, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. You saved my life in more ways than one. And I thank God every single day that your terrible family forced you to marry me, because otherwise I might never have found you. Tears filled my eyes. I love you, Ethan Cole. I love you, Riley Cole, he said. Hope ran up to us, laughing and covered in grass stains. Mommy, Daddy, watch me do a cartwheel. We watched our daughter tumble across the yard, not quite getting the cartwheel right, but trying again and again with determination. James woke up and made baby noises. Tyler and Sarah pulled into the driveway, coming over for dinner. This was my life. This chaotic, beautiful, imperfect, wonderful life. My family had forced me to marry a comatose soldier, thinking they were humiliating me and getting rid of me. Instead, they gave me everything I'd ever dreamed of. A husband who loved me fiercely. Children who filled my days with joy. A brother who had become my best friend. A real family who chose me every single day. And yes, there had been challenges. Vanessa had tested us in ways I never imagined. But we had survived. We had grown stronger. Because love isn't about the perfect beginning. It's about the choice you make every single day to stay, to fight, to build something beautiful even when things are hard. And Ethan and I, we chose each other. Every single day. My stepfamily thought they were humiliating me by forcing me to marry a dying soldier. But that soldier woke up. And together, we built a life that made them regret every cruel thing they'd ever done to me. Not because we sought revenge, but because the best revenge is living well. And we were living beautifully. 5 years after Vanessa's death, I stood in the kitchen of our home making breakfast for our 3 children. Yes, 3. We had surprised ourselves with a 3rd baby, another girl we named Grace. Hope was now 10 years old and thriving in elementary school. She wanted to be a doctor like her grandmother Linda. James was 5 and starting kindergarten in the fall. He was the adventurous one, always climbing trees and getting into harmless trouble. And Grace was 2, a little bundle of energy who followed her big sister everywhere. Ethan walked into the kitchen, kissed me on the cheek, and stole a piece of bacon from the plate I was making. "Hey," I said, swatting at him playfully. "That's for the kids." "I'm hungry too," he protested, grinning. Tyler and Sarah, who had gotten married 3 years ago, lived just down the street with their 1-year-old daughter, Emma. They came over for Sunday dinners every week. My father had passed away 2 years ago from a heart attack. I went to the funeral, paid my respects, and felt sad for what could have been but never was. I had made my peace with him before he died, and that was enough. Victoria had reached out once, asking if we could meet for coffee. I politely declined. Some chapters were meant to stay closed. As I watched my family gather around the breakfast table, loud and chaotic and full of love, I thought about that scared 24-year-old girl who had stood in a hospital room 7 years ago, about to marry a stranger. If I could go back and tell her anything, I would tell her this. The pain you're feeling now won't last forever. The humiliation, the fear, the uncertainty. It's all temporary. What's waiting for you on the other side of this moment is more beautiful than you can imagine. You're about to meet the love of your life. You're about to build a family that will fill your days with joy. You're about to discover that you're stronger than you ever knew. So sign those papers. Take that leap of faith. Trust that even in the darkest moments, there's light waiting for you. Because that man in the coma, he's going to wake up. And he's going to love you in ways you never thought possible. And together, you're going to prove to everyone who ever doubted you that love, real love, is worth fighting for. "Mommy, you're crying," Hope said, interrupting my thoughts. I wiped my eyes and smiled. "Happy tears, sweetheart. Just happy tears." Ethan squeezed my hand under the table, understanding without words what I was feeling, because he felt it too. Gratitude for the journey that brought us here. Gratitude for the love we built together. Gratitude for every moment, every challenge, every triumph. My family had tried to humiliate me by forcing me to marry a comatose soldier. But that soldier woke up and gave me the greatest gift of all. He gave me a life worth living. And that was the best revenge of all. Thank you so much for watching this entire story. I hope you loved Riley and Ethan's journey as much as I loved telling it. Their story shows us that sometimes the worst moments in our lives lead us to the best things. That forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, but it does mean freeing yourself from anger. And that true love is built not in perfect moments, but in choosing each other every single day, even when it's hard. Please subscribe to this channel to support our growth. We have so many more amazing stories coming your way. Drop a comment below and tell me what you thought of this story. Did Vanessa deserve forgiveness? Should Riley and Ethan have visited her in the hospital? What was your favorite moment in this journey? I want to hear all your thoughts. And don't forget to hit that like button. Your support means everything to us and helps us keep bringing you these incredible stories. Until next time, remember, your beginning doesn't determine your ending. Keep fighting for your happiness, keep choosing love, and keep believing that better days are ahead. See you in the next story.